What's up, guys? This is cielshock from CTUSA Mini 4-Wheel Drive Racing Squad, and I'm a teacher here in New Works. And today, before I start my video, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody, and be safe on your fireworks event. But now we're going to go back to 2010, where Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez says that they were just brothers and sisters, but they end up dating eventually. And the emo days and the skinny jeans and the swoosh bangs is starting to fade. Tamiya started to release their next chassis, the Super 2. Alright, the Super 2 chassis, we're going to go in-depth with this chassis. We're going to talk about its strengths and weaknesses, what category I will think that that you can use this chassis, and I will tell you some trivias about it, and yeah, so everything you need to know about Super 2 chassis. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's go to the show.
Hi guys, this is Geeshock, and today we're going to talk about Super 2. So the Super 2 chassis is a mini 4-wheel drive chassis released by Tamiya in December of 2010 with the release of Magnum Sabre Premium. The chassis is the further improved version of the Super 1 chassis. The main chassis parts, especially the front bumper, has been reinforced. The front bumper has also extended and added few attachment holes for the use of grade-up parts. The battery switch has been changed from slide type to rotate type, and the battery clips design was also changed to the much more rigid one. There's also the newer hard points for rear stay parts as seen in Super X chassis and later chassis. Some kits came with a side guard EX attachment which can be installed under the middle of the chassis. Performance-wise, it behaves similar to that of VS chassis, except that Super 2 chassis has greater adaptability than the VS chassis. Now let's move on to cielshock for the chassis stats.
Thank you, Geeshock, and now we're going to talk about the stats. As you can see on your screen, you have all the Super 2 chassis stats. Again, let me remind you guys that all these stats came out from the box with no modification or upgrade parts attached. So this comes from Tamiya straight out from the box. This is divided into toughness, acceleration, cornering, stability, adaptability, and ease of maintenance. As you can see, the toughness is 3, which is for me is quite low. Acceleration and cornering is tie at 5. So this car is really fast and it's really crazy in cornering. Stability is 3, which is really quite low too. Adaptability is 4.5, and ease of maintenance is 3. And now let's go take a closer look and build the Super 2 chassis in 2 seconds. Alright guys, now that you guys have the general info and the stats, here is your Super 2 chassis. As you see, and take a closer look, it is very similar with your Super 1 chassis, the first chassis that came out, and then this is the improved version of it. Alright, so as you can see, it's in ABS. One trivia for you guys. Super 2 chassis, most of the kits are molded with ABS plastic, but there are some kits over there that are quite special, and it's molded with ABS and polycarbonate reinforced chassis, which is the Magnum Sabre Premium, Sonic Sabre Premium, and the Tri-Diger X Premium. Those 3 chassis are molded with polycarbonate and ABS plastic. That's why the chassis is tougher. And then if you guys want to go more tough, the Victory Magnum Premium and the Vanguard Sonic Premium were molded with carbon mix with ABS. So those are the carbon mix ABS S2. So those are the kits that are with different molds. One thing that I know that some people doesn't know, the first chassis that was the Super 2 is one of the first chassis that was recalled. Mean to say by recalled is there are some defects with it. With this, the Magnum Sabre Premium was discovered that there are defects on its mold and on its premium kits. So since it's been fixed, there's a second mold revision, but nobody really knows. Nobody really knows which one is the one is recalled and which one is not recalled. So for the racers and the buyers over there, if you're buying as Magnum Sabre Premium kit, which have the polycarbonate ABS reinforced chassis, be careful, because Tamiya tried to pull out all the recalled ones with the defects, but not all of them were being been pulled out. So there's still Magnum Saber premium kits over there that are defective. All right, so maybe the chassis was twisted, and the gears were not aligned together right. So who knows? But that's one thing that you guys need to know about the Super 2 that's not a normal racer or enthusiast will know. All right, so let's build this. When I'm building a Super 2, I always starts with the tail. So this is the tail part over here. A lot of people will use washers, but I don't. I will not. I want to make it lighter, so I don't use it. So this is basically just the built from the box. So for all the newbies over there, this is how I do it myself. I prepare it myself. So that's the tail. Screw it under. So as you can see, it's very, very similar with the Super 1. And take a closer look, that attachment over there. But one upgrade that they did is for the adaptability to put those three, similar to Super X. This is similar to Super X, so that's pretty much a 3-point attachment over there to make it tougher. That's why the adaptability of this chassis is 4.5. As you can see, there's a lot of holes. So you can, especially if you're racing tune class, which is no cuts, there's a lot of this is very adaptable. As you can see, there's a lot of holes over there compared to the Super 1, and they made the bumper really rigid compared to the Super 1. So that makes sense why the adaptability is 4.5. The chassis length is 151 millimeters with the roller rear stay. So from here to here with the roller rear stay is 151 millimeters. That makes sense where the car length for its acceleration is 5 and its cornering is 5 because of the length. That helps the car accelerates and corner fast because it's really short. The width is 97 millimeters, which is from here to here. I think that's the widest part because when you're measuring the width, it should be the widest part of the car total. All right, another thing that people doesn't know about Super 2 that is just starting, people that are just starting racing, some of the kits have a center part, which is the EX stay. All right, this is a hop-up part that I bought for EX stay, just to guys take a look at it. I love this part because it helps when I'm racing tune class. I use this part, but there are some kits over there. I don't know what specifically are the kits with that, because that comes with the barrel rollers. I think Shining Scorpion and some Race Stinger have this, the premium ones. This is an upgrade centerpiece compared to the Super 1, because the Super 1 had a different one which is more flimsy. But in Race Stinger, let's say you're buying a premium kit, and if you look over here, you'll see there's an EX sides there and a stabilizer head over there with the kit. So if you're looking for this part, look at the kit that you're buying. All right. So that's one fact too. Not all kits have that hop-up part, but that's pretty amazing. So we're gonna continue building this. All right, so I'm gonna go with the gears. The Super 2 is an awesome upgrade because it's not just it's rigid and have better adaptability and acceleration and cornering. It's very light too. And the gear compatibility is pretty awesome because you don't need the hop-up part from the Super 1 anymore. Remember when I made the Super 1 video, there's a hop-up part, so the 3-5-1 gear ratio will fit. But this time, you don't need it. You just have this gear cover. Alright, so we're gonna attach the wheels. I have 2 sets of wheels over here, one from a Magnum Saber and one from a Sonic Saber. But I don't want to open a new kit just to show you guys. That's why I kind of like mix match all my parts. Alright, so at the rear part, obviously the wide ones over there. They're still the traditional bushing and eyelet together that goes here. Alright, you still have your dish gear that goes in this part. Alright, so that's a 4-1 dish gear, and that's your crown gear. So it's still the same like the Super 2. Remember, one tip when you're trying to put the wheels, it's always at this side. We're away from the gears when you're putting in it, so it's easier to put, because you'll end up cramming it on the other side if you insert the wheels through this side. It's just easier. Alright, so it goes over there. There you go. So that's what's gonna look like. We still have the same propeller shaft as usual. Where's the propeller shaft? Alright. Still have the propeller shaft, which fits most. This size fits most, like the VS chassis, TZ, Super 1, what else? AR chassis. This is it's not universal, but most of the chassis use this propeller shaft. Alright. And this is the front one. The front one is narrower. This one's from a Sonic Sayer. We just have different colors now. We gotta have just random colors in this build, but you know, it gets the job done for the video. Don't do that. Always the eyelet part goes out. Alright, so crown gear, do I have an extra one? Goes here. Alright, always away. It's easier like that. Boom. Alright. Now it's like a tricolor. A lot of colors. Alright, so the wheelbase is 80 millimeters. Alright, from here to here it's 80 millimeters. The ground clearance with the large diameter wheel is 5.8. So that will be quite high if you have a large diameter. This one is a medium one. The small diameter, the ground clearance will be 2.8. So you still have a 1 millimeter or 1.8 millimeter the thickness for your brakes and for your hop-up part if you're using it for speed tech or other categories with modified parts. That will be like a low clearance. So one thing that I noticed with the S2, because I used it for speed tech and most of my categories, it's very low. So you're gonna watch out. That's why people cut this for bumperlessing. They're bumperless this so to make it higher and kind of modify the chassis. CNC cut it so when they going up with the bank, it's not hitting, because the bumper of the Super 2 is quite low. All right, one more thing that you guys need to know. All right, so the compatible gear set will be 4-1, 2-5-1. I mean 4-1, 4-2-1, 5-1, 3-7-1, and 3-5-1, and you don't have to change anything. This is just compatible as it is. All right, so this is the motor catch. I have a torque tune motor. It goes here, and these are your terminals. The terminals goes here. You attach it like that. It's just snap-ons. All right. I don't want to dismantle it anymore. It goes over here on top. This is different because, you know, if the Super one just like one whole thing, this one goes on top like this, like that, and then the gears on top. And then this is a traditional gear cover with the Super one that attached over there. What else? All right, I have this switch that goes over here, and now it's not a slide switch anymore. One thing that you guys gonna remember, it's not a slide switch anymore, it's a rotating switch. So this part goes on top like that, and here is your cover, and it snaps like this. All right, so that's your switch. So your switch, instead of slide compared to Super 1, Super 2 is now rotating. So they did a lot of upgrade for Super 2. All right, so you have the option to put this to secure your gears. All right, so it goes over there. All right, but the Super 2 is not all success when it started. All right, the gearbox became a problem, and there's a lot of complaint. So after this chassis was released, we get a lot of complaint about the gearbox. So Tamiya decided, instead of fixing the chassis or make another chassis, they made a hop-up part. They made the easy lock for it, which is that looks like this. The easy lock looks like this. it goes over here. Let me show you. All right, let me remove this. All right, it's an actual hop-up part with carbon, but this one is from another kit. Some kits have easy lock parts, but not all of them. All right. I don't have the specific list of the actual parts with the easy lock. I mean, actual kits with the easy lock, but I do have an easy lock over here. All right. All right, I'm gonna show you how the easy lock works. All right, because people have been complaining about that defect that Super 2 have. So it goes over here. You need to screw it over here on top, like that, instead of having it screwed directly from this gear cover over here. So this is an easy lock gear cover from my other kit. So the easy lock looks like this, and the one that comes from the kit, there you go. There's two types, but the same Super 2. So the easy lock hooks on this part. Let's put the motor so it makes sense. All right, the motor puts on top. Here's your crown gear. I mean your counter gear. There you go. It hooks up over there. And the easy lock goes right here. There you go. So there's no way that gear cover will pop, because in Super 2, this usually pops. That's what the Tamiya got complaining from Super 2. So originally it's an upgrade part with a standard Super 2. So, but now it's with the Dash Emperor Premium. So when you get a Dash Emperor Premium, the easy lock is included. So that's what's gonna look like. So the weight of this chassis with batteries is 115 grams. Without batteries is 57 grams. That's what makes sense with acceleration. That's what the acceleration of this chassis is really high too. So here's what it's gonna look like without the wheels. Obviously, the battery lock goes over here, and this chassis looks really small. If you look at it, it's narrow, it's light, but a lot of adaptability. So this chassis is really close to VS. You can tame it like VS, but the only advantage that this chassis have compared to VS chassis is the adaptability of this chassis. The toughness of this chassis is 3. So that's one category that I think this chassis, that's the category that this chassis weak point. So the chassis is very flimsy, the toughness is low. So when you're modifying this car, that's one stat that you have to compensate. So that's why we do bumperless, we do reinforcements, a lot of work. But acceleration and cornering is awesome. That means this car is gonna fly when it comes to cornering and acceleration. That means you don't need a lot of power from your motor, a little less work on your transmission. So you have to focus on toughness. So acceleration is 5, cornering is 5, stability is 3. So that's one thing that is low for this chassis, which is one of its weaknesses, is the stability. So you can work on the toughness with the stability, because from the box it's not stable. So you have to study the chassis, make a lot of work for speed tech to compensate that stability weakness. Adaptability is 4.5. Obviously there's a lot of holes and there's a lot of adaptation that you can do. So that makes sense, because your toughness and your stability is kind of low. The adaptability of 4.5, which is high, that you can do a lot of modification in this car to compensate that toughness and that stability weakness. The ease of maintenance is 3. obviously, because cleaning it is, you have to dismantle the car and everything. There's a lot of holes that made it light to, and cleaning and everything. But for me, maintenance is part of being a mini 4-wheel drive racer anyway. So you always clean your car, because dirty cars are like slow transmission and slow gearings, and it's just gonna affect the full performance of the car if the car is dirty. But maintenance for me is not a big focus when it comes to modding the car. So Pro Stock, I think you can use this in Pro Stock. You just have to know how to tame this car. You don't need a lot of power. You just have to use a lot of, in the Philippines, in Pro Stock, you can use different motors. So you can probably use Rev Tune, Torque Tune, Atomic Tune, Light Dash to the extent. I don't know if it will be tamed by Hyper, but some people can do it. I've seen Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia having their own setup with a Pro Stock setup with double rollers over here, and some O-ring rollers over there, because they can mix match parts. Because I think this will be a competitive chassis to Pro Stock and Super Stock. In Tune class, obviously, without cuts, this is very adaptable, so I will definitely recommend this for Tune class. For high speed, yes. For Tune speed, for high speed, for box stock, I'm kind of like 60-40 with it, with box stock, because of this, just for the stability issues. Because for box stock, you cannot mix match parts. You can only use the chassis barely from the kit, so you can't really work on that stability and toughness issue from this car. So it can get the job done in some track layouts, but not all the time. So this will not be my go-to car chassis when it comes to box stock. But for Speed Tech, for J Cup, they call it the Japan Cup car setups, this is very adaptable. Toughness and the stability is the only issue for me, because if you are a racer that wants a lot of work, and you want that transmission to be crazy, and you don't have to worry about acceleration and cornering, you just focus on the building it, making it tougher, and making it stable. This is the chassis for you, because that's why I call this my go-to chassis, my Nokia chassis, user-friendly, because you see, it's very user-friendly. So that's everything you need to know about the Super 2 chassis. Hope you guys get a lot of info from me. Oh, before I forget, there's one more part that I haven't shown you guys, because I don't want to dismantle it. This part over here, that part goes in front of the chassis over here. There you go. Yeah, that was the hole for the center front bumper design attachment for certain body shells like Liberty Emperor, Dash Great Liberty Emperors, and Dash Great Emperor, Dash 1 Emperor. This is useful, but they said this made the car tougher, but I think it's just, over excessive adaptability. But I guess you can use it for some people use this for Speed Tech, actually. They put the S2 tail on top of the FM chassis to make it tougher. But that's the part that goes here. The center front. The front bumper. Yep, the hole for center front bumper. There you go. I almost forgot about that. I didn't show you guys. Alright, I will be regretting that. So I will be editing the video if I forgot about that. So yeah, so this is the Super 2 chassis. As you can see, very colorful because I mix match all the parts. So again, I will give you the stats before I go. Its toughness is 3, acceleration is 5, cornering is 5, stability is 3, adaptability is 4.5, and ease of maintenance is 3. So this is the second of my favorite chassis. I will recommend it in high speed, tune speed. Some people, I never seen a person use it for tech, but for box stock, I'm 50-50, 60-40 about it. For pro stock, definitely. Super stock, definitely. And yep, Speed Tech. Yep, so this is Super 2. And Happy New Year to everyone. This is Cielshock from CTUSA Mini 4-Wheel Drive Racing Squad. I'm a teacher in New Works. If you like more videos, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit that bell button over there. So every time I upload a video, you will be updated with this video. So again, this is Cielshock. Always race humble. We learn from you, you learn from us. Peace.